Today is Sunday, August 27th, and here's our buoy 10 update for the day. It's going to be very simple. If you like to fish the Oregon side from Tongue Point, even above Tongue Point, all the way down to Buoy 20, Social Security Beach, you'll catch fish. If you like to fish the Washington side from the top of Blind Channel, all the way on down to Chinook and El Waco, you'll catch fish. There are a lot of fish around, but they are mostly Chinook right now. So that's not a bad thing, of course, but we're only allowed one per person on the Chinook. Coho were a little bit tougher to find today. We had all of our Chinook by a little bit before 10, and it seemed like it was a pretty decent bite wherever you were. Now today I've personally fished on the Oregon side, but guys on the Washington side, Church Hole, lit them up. Again, anywhere that you like to fish, anywhere that you're confident to fish, you'll catch. Very simple. What we did today is we started out in the normal 32 foot, and I got bit okay there, but I saw some boats inside starting to catch fish, so we did a quick hot lap, jumped back up and tried to get in front of that little group of fish, went into that 24 to 26 feet of water where I did well yesterday, and I marked just a pile of fish. There were a ton of them in there, but they wouldn't bite, and it was driving me crazy. So I actually called up Brandon and said, hey, what are you seeing? What's going on here? And he said, you know, out in the deep water, we're finding some fish that are actually biting. So even though I was on fish, and there were a lot of them, I mean, my screen was just lit up constantly, those fish did not want to play ball. But the fish out in the deep channel, out in the middle of the river in that 40, 45 feet of water, we started finding some biters. Whether you were on the bottom suspended, didn't seem to matter. As the tide kept rolling out, the tides are getting smaller, so the troll speed wasn't too bad. You just had to manage your line angle a little bit more. So today, during the middle of the tide, I was actually going in and out of gear a lot. In fact, a lot of times I was in reverse, just trying to slow the boat down, because the current up on top is moving a lot faster than the current down at depth. And that's what creates your line angles being scoped way out. Again, the guys over on the Washington side, straight stroked them. They did a great job. The guys on the Oregon side, all the way on down past Hammond, Red Can Line, everyone was catching fish. So a lot of fish around. Hopefully this continues. This is what's supposed to happen on these tides. We just hit the highest tide here 4 days ago. So yesterday, today, and hopefully tomorrow should be some really good fishing. As long as it maintains, hopefully we can have a great buoy 10 season, what we're all used to. You know, again, coho is what makes this fishery, because we'll see what happens here in about 4 or 5 days when the tides start growing again. If we can start catching a bunch more coho, or even if these Chinooks stick around, hopefully that'll keep this action going, because right now it's awesome. But we'll see. So real quick here, because I got done early, we didn't go through all of our bait, but we're also starting to see a lot more of these really good quality fish. In fact, today most of our fish were upriver brights. We only had one lower river stock fish, but again, that fish cut great. It was paper bag brown. Some folks would have called it a tule. Not every dark fish is a tule. We cut it open and it cut blood red. It cut better than one of the upriver brights. So take that for what it's worth. But what we're doing is we're starting to see some more mature fish, even some of these upriver brights. So I'm actually starting to keep a few eggs right now, and it's not because I do the hover fishing or bobber nag down at the coast. I'm actually going to be using them for winter steelhead here come December through March. And so what I'm doing is, when I see some really good eggs, I don't like the really big, very mature eggs. Those are great for bobber fishing for fall Chinook. I like the smaller skeins, like what you see out of the upriver brights or some of the select area brights, Chinook salmon that are caught out here. They just have a little bit tighter skein, and I tend to like to use those when I'm side drifting or bobber dogging. So when I see those, I've been keeping them in a Ziploc, and then just each day getting them all ready. So what I did is I took them out of the fish. I got a nice little bag here from our fish today, and I don't have time to go through and, you know, cut the vein out and butterfly them and everything else. I got way too much other stuff going on. So I'm just trying to get a good base gear. So all I'm doing is I'm taking, at the suggestion of one of my buddies who's been doing really well on a certain cure, he told me to start using the UV Glow egg cure, the UV double red fluorescent here. He's been having great success with it. I personally have been liking some of the liquid brines, but he did really well in spring Chinook on this, so I'm gonna try it, see how it works on steelhead. But what I'm doing is, instead of trying to get the powder into every single little crevice in the skein of eggs, it's a little bit time consuming. Again, I haven't had the time to do it. So I'm just taking this and I'm sprinkling it into the bag there, and then I'm just adding a little bit of the Pro-Cure liquid egg cure to it. So what I'm hoping is going to happen here, just creating just a real basic egg cure, get the eggs cured up just enough so that way when I get home I can re-cure them and add the flavors that I like to add to them, but at least this gets the eggs taken care of. So I add the powdered cure first, and then I'm adding a little bit of the liquid cure, and the reason why is because the liquid cure will absorb the powdered cure and help it permeate through the eggs into the skin a little bit better. So I'm creating just a little bit different liquid cure essentially. I'm just using a little bit of this, the majority of the powdered cure. So just a quick little tip on what to do with your eggs while you're down here. If you don't have the time to take care of them the way that we normally do, where you're butterflying them, cutting the vein out, make sure all the cure is evenly distributed amongst the skein. I'm just taking it, dumping it in my Ziploc bag, adding a little bit of the liquid cure, and then these here are from yesterday, and I would take them out, but I don't want to get my fingers all pink. But these are the eggs from yesterday. There you go. Kind of see them there, but they're cured up perfectly, and that's because I just used a little bit of that liquid cure in there with it. As far as gear that worked today, chartreuse flashers, you know, the Skunky Brewster, the one that I was selling at my booth at the Sportsman Show this year, that Skunky Brewster has been doing pretty well. So I've been running that on 5 rods, and then the Red October, I've been putting that in my hot corner there, the starboard stern with a spinner. Spinner got 3 today, so it's been pretty fun. This is what we all expect out of Buoy 10, and I shouldn't say expect, this is what we all hope for, because every year is different. We can't always have years where we get 1 million coho back and 600,000 Chinook. So it's been a grind here so far this season, but yesterday, today, hopefully tomorrow, this is why we come down here to experience Buoy 10 and enjoy salmon fishing. Last few days we put a lot of new people who have never caught a salmon before on fish. It's been a lot of fun. So that's our Buoy 10 update for today. If you have a chance to come down here the next week or so, hopefully the bite continues and you guys can get on some fish too. We'll see you.